Good evening, everybody. It is time for round 13 of the 2021 GP4 OC Formula 2 Championship. I'm your lead commentator, Robert Ionescu, and just like yesterday, I am joined by Joseph Willows here in the United States of America at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. How are you doing, Joe?
Pretty good. We've obviously just come off the back of the pretty good top-class qualifying session, but now we're here to do the F2 race at Indianapolis, where both championships could be wrapped up. Obviously, one is less likely than the other one, but the other one may be a chance, we'll have to see.
Well, currently, High Tech are sitting 41 points. Can get during a week is 49 points. So if they score them 8 points, they win. That's pretty much the gist of it. In the driver standings, it's a little bit more difficult because the graphics are no the criteria are like this, as Flo had the graphics history told us. For Jonas Martins to win the title today, he has to win the race with the fastest lap. He needs Oscar to finish 10th or worse, Wallinger to finish 6th or worse, and Blackwood to finish 3rd or worse. So it is possible, but a little bit unlikely, I'm going to say. He needs Oscar to have a stinker pretty much.
That indeed, and obviously, I think it's probably more likely that the driver's title is going down to the wire, but we'll see. Stranger things have happened in racing. Maybe this could be one of them.
The champion graphic is prepared in case he wins the title, but it's probably not going to show up today. So then, time to take a look at our starting grid.
But before that, we might as well go through the criteria that he has to do, as it's up on the screen at the moment.
Oh, I did just talk about it.
Oh, I didn't hear. Sorry. Well, either
Oh, sorry
way, to
about that.
remind people who've only just tuned in anyway, if he wins the race and sets the fastest lap, he needs Oskin to finish 10th, Valdinger to finish 6th, and Blackwood to finish 3rd to win the title. That's basically it. As said, he needs a bit of a miracle, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's right. And it's time now to take a look at our starting grid. Or are we still okay? Here we go. Jonatas Martins, the brand new championship leader, took the lead in Fuji, has increased his lead by 4 points to his first ever Fear Series pole. And Tostanome is in second place, another great qualifying from the Japanese driver. Just Suto is in third. And in fourth place, Samer Oskan, very, very hungry to get after his teammate and battle him for the win in the high tech.
Ruslan Proxy starts in 5th, a better qualifying for him, with Agatina Bavona in 6th position. P7 on the grid, if Flo just scrolls over for a minute, will be Aaron Curtis, who's probably going to more likely be the outgoing champion at the end of this, and Gabriel Rico in 8th position in the Campos.
Yep, indeed, Ben's Valgar in P9 and Nonevert Rosie, trying to keep both his and his team's style hopes alive. Alexander Arnold is in P10 with Henry Watson P11. Blake Moore is in 12th place in the Carlin.
Indeed, in P13, we have Rose Henson in the Trident with Von Chanek Kirshani in 14th. Gabriel Quintino will start 15th with Jafai Blackwood in 16th position.
Yep, that's right. Adam Chobot is in a lowly P17 with Tobias Kretz languishing down in 18th. Luca Farina is 19th, Dennis Graf 20th in the Campos, and on the back row of the grid, it is
Ray Daniel in the Van Amersfoort Racing and Hoang Ming Nguyen in the Premier.
Yep, that's right. And that is our grid for today's race. Who's going to take the win? Can the championship be decided? Who knows? 44 laps of action await us here in Indiana, the Hoosier State. And it's time to take a look real quick at the weather for today's race before we get going.
Yep, indeed. It is going to
It
be
is
bone
going to be
dry.
bone dry. There is a small chance for rain, but that is long after the race ends, so it won't trouble us.
Yep, indeed.
So then, are you guys ready? It's time to get this. Like they say in America, drivers, start your engines. It should be a very good one.
Yep, indeed. Will both championships be wrapped up today, or will they go down to the wire? We shall see.
I think the teams could be decided by but the drivers will go on to the finale.
We shall see, though, as I've just managed to finally
Yeah,
send
indeed.
the team's graphic over to Flo in the end. I had a bit of issues on my end getting it to him, but eventually I've got there in the end. But anyway, we are nearly getting set for the race, and hopefully it should be a very, very good one indeed. It usually is in Indianapolis, and as we saw in 2016, it could sometimes go down to the last lap.
Yeah, indeed. That amazing fight between Isaac Fasher and I forgot who he was battling. Was it Lincoln Pana by any chance?
Jared
Oh,
Fosbury, because
Fosbury.
he was the one who won it.
Oh yeah, Jared Fosbury, sorry, not Isaac Fasher. I messed them up again. Good old me. Nevertheless, Martins will have the inside for turn 1, so he starts on the dirty side of the grid. Should be interesting to see if Sonome can get the jump on him on the outside. Martins is fueled 22 laps meanwhile, so a little heavy, but he's fueled exactly to halfway point. Of course, he'll pit a little earlier. But we're waiting for the 5 red lights to turn on.
I think Flo is just putting a graphic in place ready before he presses go. So just bear with, and then we'll get going. He's just pressed the pause button, I noticed.
Yep.
As we're just waiting for him to sort that out, and then we should be getting going very, very soon. So just bear with, and here we go then.
Martins on the left of the screen, Sinonome on the right. Who'll get the lead in the United States here as it's 5 lights out. And away we go. Now they're out. This gets a good initial launch. He's gonna try to pull away from Sonome here on the long run to turn 1. You can overtake here. And I'm sure people will try. Suto is going to go for the move on the outside. That's bold, but watch for Oskan behind. Oskan slots into third. But Suto takes the lead around the outside. That is a brilliant move. And Oskan trying to gun for second already. Get in front of teammate and rival Jonatas Martins. Around the outside, he's done that brilliantly. Martins loses 2 places already. Sonome loses even more.
A very clean start, though, regardless, so no major incidents in the first corner, but an amazing start from Suto to take the lead. He's got a bit of a gap to both the high-techs as a result, as they all make their way single file through turns 6 and 7, with Graf bringing up the rear.
Yep, that's right. Don't forget for our team's title, High-Tech need to outscore Virtuosi by 8 points, and they're doing that right now. The Virtuosis aren't doing that great, as the 2 High-Techs are locked into combat right now. Yeah, the Virtuosis aren't in the points. As we got a move here, Graf, brilliant stuff.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you say they have to outscore them by, was it 8 points you just said, or 19 points? I can't quite remember what you said.
8.
Well, I would say 9, because, well, if...
yeah, fair enough. Biggest comeback. Well, hold on, Joe. We got to move here into the infield. Into the banking, sorry, not the infield. The hard track, the hard part of the track is the infield. Martins tried to make a move on the oval bit, but he failed, and now Ruslan Protsik is chasing him down. Is he gonna send it into the first corner? It looks like he just about might try, and he's hit him, but kept it on track. He got away with it, as Curtis has just been overtaken by, I think that was Bivona, up into 6th place.
Indeed, so very lucky that wasn't a major crash there between who was it, Proxuk and Martins there. So yeah, that could have already have gone down to the wire if Proxuk had done something serious there.
Yeah, indeed. Martins' pace appears to be dropping a little bit. He's struggling to keep up with Oscar as things stand. I'm not quite sure the fuel delta is between the 2 of them, but I know for sure Protsuk is fueled lighter than Martins. Martins should have about 21 laps. Protsuk has 3 less, so he's definitely pushing on his lighter fueled car. We gotta move here. Meanwhile, Traz tried to go. Quintino's gone off track. He spun it. Careful. The Fuji winner now finds himself at the back of the grid.
Yeah, indeed. He looked like he got ran out wide there, and as a result had to take avoiding action, which in turn meant he went onto the grass, and as a result, he's dropped to the back of the pack.
Yeah, Kress went for it, but he was perfectly entitled to do that. Quintino just ran himself out of road.
Yeah, and it's meant he's rejoined. But I was going to say, of course, the reason why they have to score by 9 points instead of 8 points is because, you know, Univirtuosi could still get them on a countback if they win this race, of course. But
yeah, fair point.
Meanwhile, we've got an overtake as Proxy has finally got the move done on Martins. Is Synonym going to follow him through? The answer to that is no. Only Proxy is going to get Martins on this occasion.
Hold on here. He might drive a good run, but no, that's going to happen. Rico, meanwhile, is up to 8th place. Blackwood, is that Blackwood? Yes, it is. Up into 10th place. And so China trying to get involved there behind. Let's see what happened to Ben Zwalinger here. We got a good eye. We got a good shot. Blackwood just went past Watzel. No, that was China, not Blackwood. Sorry, Blackwood is further behind. Valdinger is up to 11th. Blackwood trying to gain places as well. He's in 13th.
While Quintino having to try and catch back up to the pack after this mistake. As Suto continues to build lead down in front. It's now 2.4 seconds between himself and Oskin, as Protsi will look to try and gain onto Oskin, as he's now, as a result of overtaking Martins, currently in a high-tech sandwich.
Yeah, but I think Martins is not done with him right now. He's trying to counterattack, but he thinks against sending it right there. He's gonna get a decent run onto Protsi, as look at this, Sonome is being passed by Bavona side by side in the Mickey Mouse section, but the Japanese driver holds on.
Indeed, and that was because
Sonome he went very deep. Big lock up there, he lost off ground. He was able to retake the position, he had the inside line for the right-hander, and Bavona just knew there was no point finding him there, he can just get him on the straight.
And they've also got Curtis behind as well, look to take any opportunity. Meanwhile, Martins has not finished with Protsi yet. He's still in the slipstream of him, so if he's close enough, he maybe could try and get him back into the first corner, but we'll see what it's like when they come off the banking.
Yeah, we shall indeed. As Sonome is cleared Bavona a little bit, Protsi appears to have done the same to Martins. The Brazilian is gaining, but I doubt he'll gain enough. Aaron Curtis is definitely gaining, though he's going to try past Bavona here. Will he defend the inside? Looks like he won't. He's gained in the slipstream of Sonome, and that helped him defend his position. But look at this, Valdinger and China side by side with each other. China goes deep, but holds on to the position. He'll have the inside for the left-hander of 2, and that's him remaining in front.
Yeah, indeed, as Suto continues to build lead, as Martins...
I just noticed Oskan is fueled 2 laps heavier than Martins, so that's an interesting spat between the high-techs there.
Indeed, as Martins, will he try and have a go at Protsi against this left-hander? He's thinking about it, he's trying to dart back to the inside, but thought better of it, so had to hang back as a result. So Protsi will hang on, but I think that battle will continue down the pit straight.
Yeah, probably so. As take a look at this, China defending hard from Valdinger. He's trying to help his teammate Jafar Blackwood get to the points, but there's something that VAR just gone deep a little bit, I think. Lost position. Now look at this. Protsyuk is under heavy pressure. He may have gone past Martins earlier, but Martins is hungry for that podium position. He's trying to get back past him. He made the same mistake he made before in chasing Oskan, and tried to go for the move into the last corner of turn 13. That just didn't work for him. He's lost a lot of time on the straight.
Well, Mo is now all over the back of Tobias Crest, meanwhile, in the fight.
Who just overtook him.
Moore, can he get the move done on Crest now then, as he looks to the inside of the German?
Crest is gonna shut the door here, and Moore has to lock up, and Crest makes a mistake as well. He's gone off the track, and he rejoins dangerously right into the path of Darabosh. Darabosh got a penalty for this. Now Crest will get one, and it's Rico taken out as well, as is the other VAR of Chobot, and Quintino avoids damage, but 100% dangerous rejoin, and if I know any better, that's a 10 place grid penalty for sure. What was Crest thinking? Come on.
Caused a multi-car crash as a result of that, taking both VARs and also Graf with him as well. So
I think that's his championship chances done with. He was a contender in the middle stage of the season, but now it's absolutely falling apart.
Need to be quick because Suto's not far away from this slot, so they need to clear these cars as quick as possible, especially the VAR that's on the racing line. So they've cleared that one, so it shouldn't be any issues for Suto now, because Crest, as you can see, is off the racing line.
He's on top of the car.
So for some reason, they are turning him towards the racing line, which is a little bit bizarre. And
here comes the race leader. Can you avoid trouble?
See, he might have to go around, and well, he's pushed it out of the way, but it's held him up a bit here, and it has allowed
Oscar has taken the lead.
See, my gosh. And meanwhile, did Arnold overtake one of the yellows? Because I just saw there was a position change going into the first corner.
Another Valdinger's holding up a train now. Blackwood in that train as well. This has helped her trying to get away. My goodness, Tobias Crest is causing an absolute nightmare here. Oh, Blackwood, he's hit him. He's detached his wheel, but he hasn't taken any damage himself. Now, Crest's car is completely destroyed, and that is a very angry Suto in second place.
I was going to say, as Arnold perhaps overtook on the yellows, because I did see the icon move as they went just before they went into the first corner, so I'm wondering if that happened. But here was a replay of the crash.
Yeah, indeed. Moore locked up. He braked too early, and he locked up pretty much. And Crest made a mistake. He braked far too late, and when he rejoined, that's an absolutely stupid rejoin. He didn't wait for anybody to pass. He just tried to get back on track as quick as he could, and right into the path of Darabosh, who had no fault in this at all. Darbosh did it and Bruno got a penalty. Now Kress will get a penalty.
Yep, and just confirmed by Flo, Cress is going to get a 10-place grid penalty for the final race at Brazil. But my question is, I did see that Arnold's indicator moved down below. I wonder, did he overtake on the yellows whilst all that was kicking off when they went back around? So I want to check if Arnold did overtake on the yellows, because if that's the case, then I would not be surprised if he lands a 5-second time penalty for that.
Watch out for debris.
Yep, indeed. We'll have to keep our eyes peeled on the replay as Chobot. What a shame he's got his wheel broken there, and that's both VARs. That car looked invisible from that angle for a few seconds. I don't know why. Anyway, we'll watch again now just for Soto lost the lead. And that one's got hurt. He had built a brilliant 3-second gap. Now he's going to need to pass Oscar on track.
Indeed. I just want to see in the background, did Arnold overtake on the yellows, or was that caused by the hold-up? I'm not sure, because I did see his icon move. Let's see.
We are in the yellow flag zone right now. Yeah, pretty clear here. That's the penalty.
And also for Henson as well.
Henson did the same. So Arnold and Henson are gonna get slapped with some 5-second time penalties. Not good for the home driver here in our home race in America. And did anybody else breach the yellow flags? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Obviously, we're not gonna count these when they're slowing down because they're all trying to escape from the chaos. But Oscar has taken a lead back, but Joseph Ferrexuto is clearly much faster. He's already closing that gap down.
Indeed, and it's obviously it's only looking at turn 1, not turn 2, where all the cars were basically scattered, really. But so Ensign and Arnold do have 5-second time penalties for overtaking on the way of yellows. But Martins has got to try and get this move done on proxy before the first corner, otherwise he'll.
This is the third time he's done this on the last corner. Once again, he darts to the inside and just compromises any straight line momentum he might have had.
They've been able to clear Cress's car, though. That is the question I want to know. As it looks like they have. Yes, they have.
Meanwhile, just for Soto is 33 points behind Martins. So if he were to win this race, Martins not second, then Soto would still be in title contention.
Yes, indeed. And obviously, if it were to stay like this at the moment, Oscar would take the lead in the championship if it were to stay as it is. He would retake the lead going into the final race at Brazil.
Yep, that's right. And Oscar will be very pleased with that if that's the case. But he inherited this lead thanks to that Tobias Kress mess. And Soto is very determined to get it back. He feels he was robbed by that yellow, and he's definitely got a point to prove, I think. Just for Soto will be incredibly fast in these upcoming laps. As take a look at this, Blackwood is under attack for Homingwin, who is going for the move, but backs out of it. Quintino also backs out of an attack on Luca Farina.
Just in terms of the team's championship, because both Uni Virtuosis are out of the points, and obviously Quintino being winning. Yep, at the moment, if it were to stay like this, High Tech would win the team's title today. So we'd have one title wrapped up before the finale, which, if I'm not mistaken, would actually be the first time that a team's title would be wrapped up before the finale in the feeder series. So a little bit of history.
Just shows how brilliant High Tech have been, as no one is going for the move on Blackwood. Oh no, you can't get him. He's made the same mistake as Martins. But Quintino just cut from Luca Farina. Nicely done.
You've got to basically have the overlap before you get onto the banking, really, to make the move stick, and that's exactly what Quintino did. So that's obviously something to keep in mind when anybody tries to go for a move onto the banking.
Also depends how low they're running their wings, of course, to help with the straight line speed.
Indeed so, as Suto trying to catch back up to Oscar. Of course, we've still got yellow flags at the first corner because they're still busy trying to clear all the cars that are that were scattered down at that first corner. So they're not allowed to overtake just yet at that first corner at the moment.
Nope, definitely not. But one man itching for an overtake is this guy, just for Soto, pushing very hard. He's gained half a second since on Oscar since last lap, and because at this point on the last lap of the chicane he was 1.6 seconds down. Now he's under second. Game on.
Indeed, as meanwhile they're going trying to attack. This is Blackwood, but can't get the move done. So once again has to hang back for the moment.
Brilliant defense from the Jamaican.
Yep, but he's still outside the points at the moment. And, at the moment he came into this race, where was he? 4th in the championship, if I'm not mistaken? So,
yeah, 4th. So he's going to drop out of contention like this, I think.
Especially when you've got Oskin and Martins up at the front of the field, then it's probably more likely he's going to be out. But of course, we'll check that when we look back later on. The Guin's not got the overlap into that banking, so once again he's going to have to hang back.
Yep, that's right. And the yellow flag still in effect, of course. Oh, Bivona has just overtaken Martins. Where did Bivona come from? And nevertheless, that's gonna be a penalty because surely he did it under yellow flag zone.
Did he do it at turn 1 though, or did he do it at another corner? Let's see, because so look, did he get him into turn 1? I think he did.
Yes. Well, Agatino, Bivona, Rose Hansen, and who else has a 5-second time penalty?
Arnold, you mentioned Arnold.
Oh yeah,
and,
Arnold, my mistake. Bivona pushing, but pushing a little bit too early.
And as the card was 5 seconds for Bivona, as Flores should confirm that they are still clearing the cars at the first corner, as we saw earlier on. But Martin's trying to get back at him though, regardless, but can't get the move done.
Nope, he's losing some places right now, but good news is he's catching on to Prix because the yellow flags are finally gone. Agatino, you should have just waited one more lap. Come on. But it's a little bit too late now. Meanwhile, we have a battle for the lead, and we have green flags. Then Vijus Suto, one very hungry Slovakian against one man with who we joke about having 1,000 nationalities, but all of them Swedish in real life. As Martin stucks in behind, he's going to get a good run onto Bivona.
Yeah, indeed. He didn't go alongside him on that occasion, although having said that, I think he might be still a little bit too far back to challenge. But meanwhile, it is 0.7 seconds between the top two in this race so far, as Suto continues to close in on Oscar after he lost the lead cruelly early on from that pile-up that happened at the first corner.
Cruelly, I think, is the best word I could have used to describe this. Thank you, Joe. And yeah, Suto is clearly faster. He's still a little bit lighter, but you can't deny the pace advantage he's got at the moment.
Definitely not, and I wouldn't be surprised if pretty soon he's going to overtake Oskin pretty soon, maybe in 1 or 2 laps' time, considering he's now 5 tenths behind him as we speak. As meanwhile, just in front, we can see Martin's still trying to attack Bivona. Oh, that was close to contact, but look,
that was incredibly tight.
Very, very close indeed. But yeah, luckily it didn't end in disaster. But now look at the leaders who are very close together.
Yeah, indeed, it's prime time for Suto to go for it and try to take the lead. He's lost it so cruelly. He had a brilliant start, and now he's gonna go for it into the last corner a little early. That's not exactly the smartest move. He'll be thankful that Pratsuk was a little further down, because he wouldn't lose position to Pratsuk, but if he wants to pass him, he's gonna have to wait. He can't do it on this straight any longer this time.
Same goes with Martins, who was trying to overtake.
Looks as though Sinonome is catching on to Martins, so that could be interesting. But here we have Gabriel Quintino attacking Juan Nguyen, and let's see if he can overtake him. Diona Virtuosi man, of course, had that little spin earlier on in the race, trying to recover.
And it looks like Quintino is trying to dive Nguyen into the first corner if he can, because he hasn't quite got the overlap on the Vietnamese driver, but Nguyen able to break that a little bit later and hold on to the place as the battle for the lead
take
continues.
A look at this. Oscar feeling the need to defend the inside. Pratsuk is also gaining. He's 2.2 seconds behind this little battle. So if they're not careful, they could have Pratsuk and Bivona and the others joining the fight as well, as Martin still hasn't given up on Bivona. But Hento Sinonome is joining the play as well. Look at that, he's just 4 tenths down. He'll definitely have a shot to attack. But speaking of shots to attack, here goes just Suto once again. Will he make the same mistake he made on the last lap and Martin's made so many times? He will, but this time he's actually a little bit closer, but it still doesn't matter. He's still behind Oskan. Having said that, he's close enough to take advantage of the slipstream, but no, he won't be able to get past him here.
No, and it looks like it's just going to be the same story repeated itself as they make their way through into the first few turns.
What's their fuel delta? I want to know.
Well, it's about 4 laps difference, as you can see. About 14 laps for Oscar and 10 laps for Suto. So
Suto needs to get this done as quick as he can. He doesn't want to. He needs to make his strategy work because Oscar might have a pace advantage in the second stint. So he needs to get done now and pull a gap. He was going to do that either way, but that pile-up ruined his chances. And now he's going to have to muscle his way to victory. Look at this, he's going for it, but Oscar defends the inside well. Suto's going to have to wait. 2.6 to Pratsuk, so Pratsuk is losing pace to these guys a little bit. Oscar's pace is still competitive at the moment. but just Suto is clearly faster, and I wonder what his patience is like. I think it's starting to run out, Joe.
Perhaps indeed, unless he can get the overlap like we saw with Quintino a little bit earlier on, which
He has to stay behind here, but he doesn't. He goes for it onto the oval bit, onto the banking. Once again, third time in a row, the same mistake. Dear God.
Well, Martins, I think, has now dropped back from Bavona because it's around 1.2 seconds. But obviously, overall, he's up in fourth because, of course, Bavona does have that 5-second time penalty for overtaking him under wave yellow flag. So, yeah, that's something to bear in mind.
One Prima got a penalty last time out at Fuji. Now the other Prima has got it as well. As speaking of the Primas, here I have Hominguen, who is under pressure from Gabriel Quintino still, but he's getting onto Jafari Blackwood, who is not having a good race at the moment.
No, definitely not. As the battle for the lead continues even more, the gap
this could be his best shot here. Let's see. Gaining in the slipstream. He's getting closer to Oskan. Can you overtake him in towards turn 9? Here we go. Oskan goes a little bit deep, but he remains in front. This is helping Project though. He's getting closer. Oskan is having to take lines that slow him down. And maybe that's part of his plan. Maybe he wants to back Suto into the others. I'm not sure though. Either way, Oskan knows what it's like to lead a race. He's won a couple of times as well. And just for Suto is all over the back of him. Will he make the same mistake for a 4th time in a row? Yes, he will. But can he actually pass this time? No, he won't.
Once again, has to hang back as a direct result of that.
I think I'm going to lose my composure when I see moves like this. I'm sorry. But saying this all the time as...
Oh, look at this.
Now finally a successful one-shot. Chana, brilliant stuff. He's past Arnold.
Used the momentum to good effect there and got the move done, but it looks like Arnold, who of course...
That's a lesson for the leaders. But what for Arnold? He's going to try to fight back.
Going to go for it into the first corner. He thought about it, but Keoshani just holds on, and that's P8 for the tie driver.
Looks like Bavona's pace is quite strong. He's getting onto Ruslan Protsiuk. He's within a second of him, so he'll be able to attack. As now Bavona's teammate Haman Nguyen going for the move on Jafari Blackwood. Can he get past the Jamaican driver into the first corner? Nope, not quite. Blackwood able to hold on.
Yep, indeed.
Now take a look at this. This train is tightening up a little bit. Protsiuk is getting closer to these guys.
He's also dragging along Bavona and Martins, I've realised as well. So
Sinonome as well. Could be. We're having a 6-car battle for the lead if it stays like this. Suto needs to get the hammer down and pass these guys quickly. Rico goes a little bit wide while defending from Ben Zwallinger. And Ben Zwallinger will drop out of title contention like this. And High Tech will win the team title if Virtuosi can't do anything. But look at this. Suto is finally... He was a little further back on the approach turn 13. That was the problem. He was entering the corner rank too close. Now... He's side by side with Oskan, and it's a matter of who can break later to take the position. This is his best chance to take the place yet. Can he go for the lead? He's gonna need to get him on the braking, which he can't do. Oskan holds on.
It looked like Oskan had a bit more straight line speed there compared to Suto, as you saw there, because he was just about able to get away before the braking zone. As meanwhile, Nguyen now trying to have a go at Blackwood again into the banking, but again it doesn't work. Is Quintino going to take full advantage? Let's see.
Nguyen was massively compromised by that failed attempt. He had to lift. And as a result, Quintino just says, "Thank you very much, I'll take that position." After the 16th place goes the Virtuosi man.
P16 for him, and says, "Oh, a big lock up there for Nguyen. That nearly ended in disasters. Look at that.
Watch out. Suto's going for the lead once again. Oskan's gone wide. Keeps it on track only just the dips the wheel onto the grass. That was incredible. What great defenses. Now Protsiuk, Bavona, Martins, and Sinonome have joined the fight. 6-car battle for the lead. This is brilliant.
Indeed so. Oskan pretty much holding his own version of an Oskan train here, or his own version of the Truly train, I should say. We might as well just call it the Oskan train. But Suto getting more impatient. Will he try and get momentum onto the banking? He's going to try and have a go what Keoshani did earlier, but it's not going to work out. He doesn't quite have the momentum like the tie driver did earlier on. It's allowed Protsiuk to once again get a little bit closer, maybe even drag Bavona, who of course has that 5-second time penalty.
Zwallinger.
He got the move done. Yes, he has. He's got it done before the overlap.
Hold on.
Still trying to hang it. They're going to go side by side down the pit straight, but I think Valdinger has got it done, and yes, he has. P10 for him as he tries to save Uni Virtuosi's team title hopes.
He's going to need to be a lot more further up the grid than this, though, if he wants to save them. As Quintino overtakes Blackwood, the championship chance is slipping away from Jafari, I'm afraid, after about qualifying. But he's still in the slipstream. He's going to attack Quintino. He's not going to let that position go so easily. He's going to dive it down the inside, and can we retake 15th? Well, yes, he can. Go above Jafari.
He does. He wasn't getting that one round of fights. Meanwhile, Bavona is all over the back of Proxiuk in the fight for third. Of course, let's not forget, Bavona does have a 5-second time penalty, so even if he passes Proxiuk, he'll need to pull away 5 seconds to get
So
that
China
podium
is battling
official.
with Curtis meanwhile.
Is indeed, as KO Shani is continuing his charge through the field after he pulled off that brilliant pass on who was it? He passed earlier. That was Arnold, wasn't it? He's obviously got a 5
Yes, it
second
was.
time penalty as well. So anyway, as
For-
meanwhile,
Oscar is looking rather slow here. Maybe he can get him this time. Yes, he can. He's got him. Oh, no, he didn't. My goodness. But Bivona has gotten Pratsiuk.
he has. He's got him at the banking, and he's got up into third on the road at least, not officially as well.
Hold
because he has
on.
the 5 second
He's
time.
coming back at it.
Gonna try, but I think he's a little bit too far back to challenge, and as a result, Bavona holds on. He's third on the road, but he needs to pull 5 seconds if he wants to get that podium officially.
Look how light these fuel, Joe. 7 laps left.
Oh, he's gone for a very light fuel load, and
Actually, it's the same as Pratsiuk.
Yes, indeed. So it seems he's got a very quick car. K. Shani on the inside of Curtis, meanwhile, and that's P7 for the tyre driver. He's definitely charging up through the field at the moment.
Absolutely right. He might be even joining the fight with the leaders if Oscar keeps impeding everybody like this.
Indeed, as Bavona will... In fact, Proxiuk's still keeping up with Bavona at the moment as they look to try and cane on to these top two at the moment as they make their way down the back straight.
Yep, indeed. Sort of thinking of a look here, but he just needs to force Oscar into a mistake. That's how he can get him like that. It's difficult in that corner otherwise. Apart from that, his best chances are, of course, the main straight. As now Wallinger trying to go for a knife of Alexander Arnold. Has he got him? He has. And Arnold's gone off the track. Can he keep it out of the wall? Yes, he can. Can we rejoin safely? Yes, he can.
But he's
No,
lost the
he
point
rejoins
so
out of the
far,
points.
because Rico has now gone up into 10th place now. As meanwhile, Suto again trying to have a go at Oscar, but again, same story. not
For
gonna
the
work
8th
out.
time, he can't get it done. And this will help Bivona get closer. But Protsiuk is actually sticking closer to Bivona than Bivona is to cars in front. Meanwhile, Martins is under threat from Sinonome to lose the position to him. Pit call for Protsiuk there, so he'll come in. Maybe he'll try to undercut everybody, but he's going for the move now. Bivona holds on. Martins also holds on. Is Bivona coming in as well? Yes, I think he is.
I'm not
He
sure.
is, yes. He is indeed. Look, the pit indicator on Gwen is red, which means
Okay,
his teammate is coming in. But Gwen is going for a move on Blackwood, fails to get it done.
So it looks like we're going to have a battle between Prema and MP Motorsport in the pits. It's Quintino now, once again, trying to attack Nguyen, who's still stuck in the slipstream of Blackwood and maybe
He's
trying
gonna
to
go for the move.
What about it? Can Quintino go all the way around the outside? No, he can't.
Just didn't have enough grip there. Suto is also coming into the pits this lap. So Oskan's defense was brilliant for the time being. It's helping his strategy. Suto needs to get past him quickly and pull a gap, but he wasn't able to do that. He will undercut him now, sure, but they might compromise his chances later on in the race, especially because Bivona has caught up as well. Suto slowing down and coming into the pits, as is Bivona, as is Protsiuk. And Sinonome takes advantage of Martins being slowed down to take the position from him. That is brilliant from the Japanese driver. Let's take another look at it. That was incredible. Very smart.
Going to look at the pit stops first of all, though, as Sinonome
Yeah, sure.
goes into second. So Suto is now into the box, as is Protsiuk, and so is Bavona, who's got a little bit further down to travel. But anyway, a fresh set of tyres and fuel for all of these guys in the pit lane. And Protsiuk should have garage advantage, but I think Suto had enough of a gap to stay in front anyway, so no big deals there. But I think Bavona is going to get leapfrogged again by Protsiuk, and he is.
Yep, indeed. And now once they exit the pits, we can finally take a look at that brilliant move from Sinonome. But hold on just a second, because Gabriel Quintino is making a move on the far Blackwood. It looks like they'll be close to the guys who are battling further up front. Yeah, there's Suto joining right into his traffic. Oh, that's not good if he wants to undercut Oskan.
No, definitely not. He's going to have to do some overtaking on track.
Oskan is actually setting a personal best.
Indeed, as Martins is still keeping up.
Can
with
we now
Sinonome.
take a look at Sinonome's brilliant pass meanwhile?
Could do, and we are going to.
Alright then. Let's see. When Martins was just running too close to cars in front, so when he saw him brake to come into the pits, he got caught napping, and Sinonome just waltzed right past him like Russell did on Perez in France, of course.
Yeah, indeed, as Sinonome makes his way through the right-hander. He's still got a few laps before he makes his pit stops. Then he goes for Oscar, and they're both on similar fuel lows. I mean, we saw that the drivers were pitting when they had 5 laps left in their wagon, so I would imagine in about 3 laps' time we'll see the top 2 pit. Nguyen, meanwhile, trying to look on the inside of Blackwood, not going to work out, but Nguyen is pitting this lap anyway, so at least...
He's gone a little deep.
It looks like Suto is going to get held up by Nguyen, so he could get overtaken by the guys behind him who pitted at the same time as
This
him.
could help
Oh,
Bivona, of course, and Nguyen's teammate. So might be some deliberate tactics from Prema. We'll see. Because Bivona, even with that penalty, I feel he could still win this race. We'll have to wait and see, of course. Now Soto is slowed down a little bit. Farina is gonna go through, just about. And where is Bivona and Protiuk? Protiuk is actually right there. Look.
so it's Bavona who goes around the outside of Proxy, who got cut off by Farina, and will Bavona get the move done on his fellow compatriot?
Soto's lost the
the
position to both of them. My goodness.
He's gained 3 places in all this because he was at the back of this lot, and now he's gained 3 places as a result of it.
And Bivona will jump into the lead of the race if it stays like this, assuming he can just undercut Oskan.
Yeah, indeed.
I gotta feel bad for Joseph Soto. He didn't put a foot. Yeah, great tactic by Prema, but I got to feel bad for Joseph Soto. He didn't put a single foot all race, and it's the race win, which was looking very comfortable in lap 5. Now it's all getting taken away from him because he's gonna need to pass not just Oskan but all these guys as well. And what a shame for him. He just had no luck.
We now look at Farina, who's just keeping up with Verona at this stage. Now, there's the way through the right and then into the hairpin. Verona should be able to pull away from Farina as a result. As Nguyen finishes off his pit stop, he's going to be joined at the back of the field. Martins, meanwhile, is coming in.
Yep, he's coming in this lap. And let's see what how much he'll if he can jump Sonoma, of course. As now Protic is going for the move on Farina. He's running to the back of him, but he gets away with it there.
Indeed, as Martins now pulls into his box. Let's see how quick the stop is going to be for the Brazilian. Of course, those guys got held up by people coming in. So let's see if Martins, and maybe even Chaos Shane, if he could get close enough to him. But let's see if Martins can get back ahead of them.
He's going to try. Let's see. The traffic did harm them a little bit, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. Where is Martins going to merge in all this?
He's going to emerge. Let's see. There's Protsuk on the pit straight. There's Suto on the pit straight. Martins is coming out. Where's Bavono on the track? He's going to be drawn ahead of him.
There he is, look. So it looks like the overcut is rather strong. This could be great news for Oskan, actually. It looks like these guys aren't going to undercut him.
Suto re-overtook Protsuk. There as Curtis runs off the track as Valdinger tries to overtake him. And luckily... Oh, no! Contact!
No! He's rejoined in front, safely in front of Gabriel Rico. That should be a penalty, I think. But hold on, he's still in the race.
Still in the race flow. He's not. That's not a grid penalty worthy. That should be a time penalty, I think, if anything. But
yeah,
still in the race. Nobody retired. So anyway, Curtis comes back out onto the track, and yeah, I think that might be a
problem up for both him and Rico, but clearly Curtis's fault.
I think that's a time penalty, not a grid penalty. Flo, that's a
how much? 5 seconds? 10 seconds?
They're going to be about 5 seconds if I was to hazard a guess, but second time penalty.
Alright, 10-second penalty for Aaron Curtis, so a lot of penalties dished out in today's race. I was asking in the discussion stream suggestion chat, more penalties for F2, and it looks like we're getting them today, as Arnold makes his way past one damaged car, now past both damaged cars. They're slowing down a lot.
Indeed, but those two are coming in.
Halfway, I can't believe we're halfway down already. This race is incredible.
Yep, as Valdinger is into the pits. That's a scheduled stop, meanwhile, and luckily neither Curtis or Rico are his teammates, so at least he's not that to worry about. But Moore's coming in. He might get held up by Moore, though, who's coming into pit lane, as Rico now pulls into his box. And, yeah, he did get a little bit held up there, did Valdinger, after that pit stop, as Curtis's rear wing is about to be changed, and Rico's front wing being changed.
Good work from the mechanics there. They're sending their men back out. They fueled him to the end of the race, but Rico has to wait for Curtis. Oh, the shame is now. Suto is trying to get past Protsuk to get back in front of him. He can't do it. Bivona is pulling away from these guys. He's going to get that 5-second lap soon, but he's behind Martins. And look at this. Blackwood is in front of Martins. He could help hold him up a little bit, as now Samet Oskan is coming into the pits this lap. He led the race ever since he took it from Suto, or that Paila. Now he'll hand... No, Sonoma is pitting as well. Won't hand the lead over to him, but let's see where he'll emerge in relation to the others, because Blackwood is 34 seconds down. I'd hazard to guess Oskan will still be the race leader.
Yeah, Oskan now into the pits now then. Let's see how quick the stop will be for the Swedish drivers. He puts on the fresh set tyres and fuel, which will take him, of course, to the end of the race. Of course, all those guys that he was battling, of course, got held up in the traffic. So Oskan in theory, should have quite a comfortable lead, but we'll see.
Of course, the pilling exit is very slow until you get to this point. Where is everybody? You can see them there. I think Oscar will be in front, but not by too much. Jafari Blackwood on the minimap gaining, unless he's coming to the pits as well.
Cool.
Hold on, no, Martins is just about not too far behind for Oscar. He's gone much closer, but not quite into actually failing him. But Sonome has just jumped to third. Will be fourth once Blackwood pits.
Third
So
when
Sonome
Blackwood
has
pitched.
done the jump on Livona.
Third when Blackwood pitched. You got your positions mixed up a little bit there, Rob. But anyway, as
My mistake, yeah.
Martins, well, I will say he would be second, but I wonder if Synonyme's going to take advantage because, of course, I think Blackwood is pitting at the end of this lap, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, could be the case. We'll have to wait and see. He's gonna go down the inside of Jafari Blackwood. Goes a little deep, but doesn't lose position. This is gonna help Oscar pull away a lot. Look, how far is Oscar out in front of Blackwood?
Quite
is
a
that
way
4
away.
seconds or something? I think it's about 4 seconds. But now if Blackwood's coming in, 5 seconds.
Is Synonym going to take advantage of Martins? Let's see. They're going to slow, but he's going to pull to the right, and Synonym does take full advantage.
Livona sliding behind. Sonome up into second. Livona, of course, has a time penalty, but he's gonna try to offset it. He's gonna go for the move on Martins. No, Martins is gonna go for Sonome. Is Livona just gonna stand back and watch? Looks like it, unless he switches it late. Is he gonna switch it late? No. Martins is gonna send down the inside of Sonome. He takes second. And now Bivona is trying to go around the outside of 2. No, not gonna happen. Protsig, meanwhile, overtakes South China as Jos Felix Soto has been robbed of what could have been a very comfortable race victory, but I don't think he's even gonna end up on the podium anymore.
It is now a high-tech 1-2 as a result, and given where the Virtuosis are, at the moment, they will be winning the team's title at this stage.
By miles.
Indeed, just shows how brilliant of a season they have had in what is only, their second season?
Yeah.
In their second season. So
Martins is 8.3 behind Oskan. So Blackwood there cost Martins 3 seconds. Oskan just locked into a race win there, but he's still driven very well to defend when Soto is pressurizing him.
Indeed, I'm just trying to look to see what that would do for some of the other title contenders as well. I mean, Valdinger, where's he on the track at the moment? He's currently in, I think he's in the points, isn't he? I think
he's in 8th.
He's in 8th position.
Just so behind this battle. China has caught up to Protsig legitimately, and he's got him brilliant stuff. Hold on, he hasn't got him fully.
Oh, but he could try and get him back on the straight, but I think Proxy's just had enough momentum to stay in front. Is Watson going to get by on Curtis, who of course has that 10-second time penalty? The answer to that is no, so he has to stay back for the moment.
Yep, indeed. Sonome in third. What's the gap between the two high decks? Is it still 8 seconds, or is Martins perhaps gaining onto Oskan?
Well, it
is 8 seconds. It was 8.3 earlier, so Martins is a little bit faster.
Yep, but whether it'll be enough to try and catch back up onto his teammate is going to be another question. His teammate's just in the distance, you just saw there. He only just went around the sequence of hairpins, and so you can just see that there's not much of a gap from second down to, I think that was about 8th, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah, pretty much. It's quite tight in this mess, and thanks to the traffic, Oscar allowed to get away. And I think he'll be paying Jafari Blackwood a lot of money after today's race, because Blackwood just, by holding up the others, he gave Oscar a great opportunity to pull away. As now China is going for another move on Ruslan Protsig. Don't go for the inside of the last corner unless you can make it work, and he actually has made it work this time. Brilliant stuff from China, but now he's gonna have to defend. Protsig has the slipstream, but he doesn't appear to be close enough. He's gonna send it. He is going to send it, but China wards him off.
So Kev Chaney now up into 6th position. Look, just behind that is Bent Valdinger doing everything he can to try and save his driver's title hopes.
What does he need to do to stay in contention?
Coming into this race, of course, he was 12 points behind Martins going into this, but at the moment Oskan is of course going to take the lead in the championship by, I think it's actually I don't know who has the fastest lap at the moment. I'm trying to remember who has the fastest lap. It is currently Suto at the moment. I was just wondering where Oskin was in relation to all of that. But yeah, so he'll be ahead of Martins by 2 points in the championship if it were to stay like this at this stage. So just wondering in terms of Valdinger what that would mean for him, because Valdinger was 7 points behind Oskin going into this race, and at this stage,
Eighth place is 4 points. 21 plus 25 minus 25 minus 4 is 21. So he would gain. I think he will be in it by the skin of his teeth. I think Valdinger.
well, it
I could be wrong.
Here comes the
Tsunome is going for the most.
Martin.
Tsunome.
He's got him.
He's got him.
He's up into second place, and now he split the two high-techs as a result.
I think Martin's plan is for Tsunome to catch up to Oskin, because in the latter stages of the previous stint, Tsunome was gaining onto him. So maybe if he can get onto a Swedish driver, that could help Martins.
Yeah,
because
indeed.
From P2 to P3, it's 3 points. From P1 to P2, it's 7 points. Would he rather take those 3 points for himself from Tsunome, or try to have him take away 7 points? As now Valdinger v Prozio round 10 begins, and no, sorry, this is round 1. Round 1 between the pair of them, my mistake. But he can get that into turn 9, and 8.6, sorry, between the leaders. Can Tsunome gain? I'm not sure.
Indeed, and I was just working out in terms of the gap between Oskin and Valdinger if it was to say like this. I think it would be 28 points, so Valdinger would still be in it, but he would need to take pole to save his chances, although he might not do that if he gets past Proxy, which he's unable to do on this occasion.
So he will still have a shot at title. That's fine by me. I understand the criteria now, so let's just focus on the rest of the race. I think Valdinger knows he's going to need a miracle from here on out, but he's got a few positions he can claim, and maybe if he gets within 5 seconds, he could still find himself in the top 5 come race end. And of course, if he gets into the top 5, it'll be a lot of damage limitation.
As Valdinger trying everything he can to get by on Proxy, meanwhile, as they've got 4.8 seconds to Henson behind, who of course has the 5-second time penalty. Of course, a lot of time penalties by having to remember. That's why we're having to write them down on Discord. But Valdinger on the inside of Proxy, can he force him into a mistake?
To goes off the track.
Can. Valdinger goes up into 7th place. So now,
as far as the error and that. Don't forget, Benz Valdinger did the same to Aaron Curtis, and that's when Aaron Curtis spun and rejoined unsafely himself. So Valdinger piling on the pressure quite well, very, very incisive. He's taking a position from Prozio. Next target for him is Chow China, who is also very fast.
Yeah, indeed, but now that does mean that Valdinger won't need to get pole at the next race in Brazil to save his title hopes, because now the gap will be 26 points between himself and Oskin.
He's just gonna need to take the fastest lap.
And yeah, he would need to take the fastest lap there in the race, but at least he won't have to do any work in qualifying, that's for sure.
Yeah, indeed. Of course, I imagine he will want to take pole and win the race, given that that's what you need to do for a miraculous comeback like that. Nevertheless, Tsunome is trying to increase the advantage to Martins, not really managing it. It's constantly 1.1, so he's keeping it there, but he can't shake him off, and he can't get any closer to Oskin either. Oskin's gained 2 tenths on since we last checked, so it looks like this could be the Hento train this time. No, Tsunome is just gained 2 tenths. Suto is trying to pressurize Bivona into a mistake. Chow China and Valdinger are coming into this train as well. It's just getting another 10th onto Oskin. Maybe Oskin is starting to burn out through his tires a little too much. I'm not sure. He's not encountering any traffic. He's got the first half of the track all to his own. All to himself, sorry. Get my words mixed up there for a second.
Oh, just made a little error though, going through into the left-hander, a little bit like what Hento was about to do there into the first corner. But yeah, he made a tiny little twitch, but nothing too major coming out of that second hairpin there.
You have Gabriel Quintino trying to push for points. Of course, with both high-techs ahead of both Virtuosis, they will take the title. Even if Valdinger is P7, gonna be nowhere near enough.
Yeah, indeed, because as mentioned,
if
41 points. into this as well, and
If
well, they're going to gain a lot. They're going to increase a lot in this race, which means it will take them above the 49 points, which means as a result there will be no chance for Universal Royalty to overhaul them again.
Yeah, indeed. To put it very simply, if a high-tech driver wins the race, which is happening at the moment, then they will very, very likely take it.
Yep, as we look at Watson now, who's just having a little bit of a moment going through into the left-hander there. He's got Moore and Rico trying to chase him down just behind.
He hasn't got a lot of pace today, I'm afraid, Henry Watson.
Definitely not, and it looks like he could, if he's not careful, he could be under pressure from Moore and both Rico in the next 14 laps.
Tsunami stopped gaining. Oskan is responding to him well. Looks like Oskan is going to win this race quite comfortably. Though he definitely did lock into it with the big pileup that took the lead away from just Soto.
Yeah, indeed. As we look at Nguyen now, then who's currently 16th and got a bit of a gap to Blackwood behind, who is probably looking highly likely now to be out of the title fight after this race.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. His rivals are scoring big, and he's not scoring, so he have to give up on the title, but he can still be proud of himself. He's had a brilliant season, and for a rookie, it's good. Sonome has lockup, but yeah, he's now under heavy pressure. Martins and Bivona are coming at him. Don't forget, Bivona has penalty, but nevertheless, even with that lockup, he's gained onto Oskan. But these guys, and now he's lost half a second to Oskan. Oskan is managing the gap, I think, and whilst I would like to see these guys catch up to him so he can have a big fight for the win, I don't see that happening anytime soon. He's gained so much time from all the traffic. It would only bad luck can take this win away from Oskan, if I'm to be honest with you.
Yep, as Oskan makes his way through into turn 2, the gap now up to 9 seconds now between him and Sinanome, as Oskan making his way through into turn 4, and Sinanome may need to watch for Martins behind again, as meanwhile Rico trying to put more under pressure.
Up indeed, here he goes, gone for it.
Going for the inside, this is going to be the move done for the Brazilian as they go side by side down towards the first corner now then, as it's back down to 8.9 between the top two. Down the inside goes Rico, and he's got the move done.
Good stuff there. He got involved in that collision with Curtis earlier on. Next target for him is Watzel, and then it's Curtis.
Indeed, as we look at Martins and Sinanome, which is 0.7 seconds, whilst they're also having Bavona and Sutivol, as Kershani has a bit of a moment going through into the left-hander there, but luckily nothing major happening, as he's 3.2 seconds behind Sutivol. But he's got Valdinger behind him, meanwhile. Got Valdinger behind him, which you can see in the mirrors.
Yeah, 0.6. Valdinger is going to get a decent run here, and might get a shot onto the main straight. He's gaining in towards the last corner of turn 13. He is gaining. He is not gaining enough though. Looks like Janet is running quite low wings here. Has a lot of straight line speed, and Valdinger wasn't even... He actually lost time on the straight, Valdinger. Incredible.
6 tenths the gap between those two as we speak, as it looks like now Sinanome is now starting to pull away again from Martins because it's gone up to 0.9 seconds. Well, I say that, but it's gone back down to 0.7. So, so a little bit of a yo-yoing going on here between Hento and Ioannis at the moment.
Yeah, just a little bit. But it's how they like it in America. They like a good show.
Bit of a lock up there for Moore. I think that's turn 4 we're looking at there. I can't really tell because of this weird camera angle that we've got looking at the cars. So I think that was turn 4.
Well, yeah, it's just a mini-map. It was turn 4, yeah.
Yeah, so 9.2 seconds now the gap between Oskan and Sinanome. So yeah, I think Oskan, as long as he has no issues, he should have this victory in the bag, and which would be his 3rd win of the season.
Yep, that's right, and it will put him back in the championship lead. He's outscoring Martin's got 4 points on him last time out, so the lead is up to 5 points. He's gonna beat him by 10 points today, which means the lead will be 5 points, but it'll be 5 points in Oskan's favor heading into the decider.
As they make their way through into turn 3. Looks like Bavona, though, meanwhile, is starting to close back in onto Martins. But that's, as you mentioned, of course, for anybody who's just joined us, Bavona does have a 5-second time penalty. So even if he does pass Martins, he needs to pull 5 seconds in which to get that position officially. And as we speak right now, he is officially...
And to do that, he needs to pass Sonome as well.
But as we speak, on the road, he's officially behind Suto, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, he could be behind Keoshani and maybe Valdinger as well.
I think so. Nevertheless, we can deal with that at the end of the race. Right now, he's got a fight with Martins, who is losing ground to Sinoma here.
As we look at Nguyen, who is still looking like he's going to have a pretty lonely race. It has been a very disappointing season, it must be said, for Nguyen, as he expected to do a good job this season with Bremer, but it hasn't really gone to plan for the Vietnamese driver this season.
He was running in the podium place at Portimao, round 3. He was looking good for that podium. He had an engine failure, and yeah, ever since then his season just couldn't get properly going.
Nope. And
look at this. Sonoma has pulled away gap to Martins 1.9 seconds, but he's not able to gain on Oskan. So these two guys have bit later than everybody else, using their slightly fresher tires to good effect. And Oskan and Sonoma have great pace right now, especially Oskan, who is pulling away still. Well, we could have had a great battle between Oskan and Joseph if Suto had that pile up not to rob the Suto of his lead. We could have had a great battle towards the end with Oskan chasing him down, but Oskan's gonna cruise to the win instead. And Suto is languishing down in 5th in a race where I'm absolutely gutted for this guy. He should not be in 5th place. He should be much better than that. But Tobias Kress and Jafari Blackwood kinda ruined his plans, though inadvertently.
Indeed, as meanwhile, is Bavona close enough to get a hold of Martins? Because he was quite close to him. No, he's not. It looks like Martins has got some better traction coming out the turn. So on this occasion, Bavona again has to sit back behind the current championship leader, but at this stage he looks like he's going to lose the lead back to his teammate Oskan.
Yep, indeed. And Bavona needs to get this done quick. He can't afford to waste any time because of that 5-second penalty he's got.
As Keoshani has a moment through into the first corner, he's still got Valdinger still looming right behind him. The gap was 0.9 seconds after they crossed the line there, but I wouldn't be surprised if Valdinger's gained a bit thanks to that little error that Keoshani has made into the first corner.
Yeah, indeed. Vance Valdinger's main overtaking opportunity so far on track today has been turn 9, that left-handed that we're coming up to very soon with these guys. But he's not close enough. Bavona might be close enough to attack Martins, though I'm not sure. Meanwhile, Sonome just took a second out of Oskan, 8.6 seconds. Maybe Oskan's tires are wearing down a bit, or maybe Sonome is pushing. He's got personal best first sector. I see his S2. Yeah, he's 2 tenths. He's found another 4 tenths on Oskan. So maybe Oskan's tires are finally starting to wear down, or maybe he's just having a bad lap.
We'll see, of course, as meanwhile what's going on behind, because I saw that Suto was pretty close to Bavona, but again, just seems like Bavona's just had better traction that time by. The gap 8.2 seconds now between the top two.
We'll keep an eye on it. Maybe Sonome can chase after Oskan, which would be exactly what Martins wants. He wants his team to win the team's title, but he doesn't want his team to win the race. He's just gone off track, Martins. Can he rejoin safely? Yes, he can. But he rejoins down in 5th place. And oh my goodness me, that could have been a heartbreak. It's still a big shock for him, but now the podium is going to be a little bit trickier.
I think the pressure may be starting to get to him a little bit in this championship.
He's given away 6 points there to his teammate by dropping these 2 places, so he'll need to hope Sonome can take 7 points to balance it out.
But even with this mistake, it's not going to be enough for Univirtuosi to save.
Sorry, 5 points he's lost. So the lead will be 10. The lead will be 10 points in Oskan's favor if it stays as is. So it's up to Sonome to gain onto Oskan, which I don't think he'll catch him in time, to be frank.
But it won't change anything in terms of the team's title because, of course, Valdinger is the only Univirtuosi in the points, and he's currently in 7th place. Well, I think 6th once. Well, I say that it could be 4th again for Martins because let's not forget Bavona's got that time penalty. So that's something to bear in mind. But either way, High Tech is still winning this team's title regardless at the moment.
Well, since Bertrosi need to outscore them by 9 points anyway, that means Valdinger needs to be in the top 5 to actually get those 10 points. And he's not in the top 5 as Blackwood has lockup, so yeah. If Valdinger is any lower than 5th place, then it goes to High Tech. They won it. And Valdinger is fighting for 6th place at the moment, But that's 5th place, assuming both high-techs DNF, and they're not DNFing. Both high-techs are actually doing good right now.
Yep, indeed, as they make their way through into the section of hairpins now then, as we now look back at Bavona, who's third on the road, but officially I think he's around about 7th, judging from how close 3rd to 7th are in the race.
Sinonome is a little bit further up the road, so Bavona has some clear end which he can push and try to pull away, build that gap, because he's got a chance to legitimately get not 3rd, but maybe P4. Martin's pace was dropping, so I think Bavona might be able to do something like that. Sinonome gained that half second onto Oskan on the previous lap, but he's just not catching him quick enough.
Oh, definitely not. I'm just looking at the gap. It's 0.8 between Bavona and Suto, so officially Suto is...
Bavona was 12 seconds down on Oskan, 12.1, Valdinger 17.4. So he would be just in front of Ben's Valdinger right now.
Yeah, so Suto is obviously going to get the podium at the moment. In fact, he took another 10th out of Bavona that time by coming out of that sector. So as we continue to ride in the cockpit of Bavona there, obviously, just doing his work in the cockpit at the moment, doing everything he can to hold on to this 3rd place, although I think it's highly unlikely given that Suto is definitely lapping quicker than him at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. Blackmore, in the meantime, is in a lowly P14 position and not gonna score points today, looks like, I'm afraid. Meanwhile, Martin's struggling, of course, but thankfully for him, Chachai and Valdinger are not close enough to pressurize him.
7.6 seconds is the gap between Sinonome and Oskin. Although Sinonome is definitely lapping quicker, I think he's kind of left it a little bit too late.
Yeah, indeed. And it's unlucky because he had to deal with a little bit of traffic as well, I think. And Sinonome... Oh, lock up for Rico, but he keeps her on the track. But yeah, Sinonome is pushing. He is definitely faster, but he just doesn't have time on his side. As now Rose Hansen, don't forget she has a penalty, but she is trying to make a move on Rosen Protzik, but she's not close enough. Her penalty would keep her in front of Arnold, though.
Yes, because of course Arnold also has a 5-second time penalty as well, so it wouldn't make really a difference.
I wasn't saying because Arnold had the penalty, but rather because the gap was over 5 seconds. I had forgotten for a second Arnold had a penalty too, but yeah, that just adds on to it as we got 5 laps to go for our race. Let's Simon Oscar.
Henson as meanwhile Valdinger, look at this.
On to Chow China, he's gonna go dive down the inside and get him on. They're side by side, but it's gonna have to be last delayed breakers. Chow China has the racing line. Valdinger has the guts under braking. No, he doesn't. I'm afraid. Chow China holds on to a position. Henson is now going to overtake Protzik on track, but she needs to pull 5 seconds in 5 laps if she wants to actually get that P8.
As Valdinger trying to put Keoshani under a bit of pressure. This is obviously the closest he's been to the Thai driver all race because he's just been stuck, pretty much just been following him for the last few laps, but now he's starting to attack him.
Yep, indeed. And let's see. That's Martins further up the road from these guys, so 2 seconds. Martins needs to hold on to that P5, which will become P4 thanks to Bavona's penalty. As Valdinger tries to force an orange out Chanet, but he's not falling for it as easily as Curtis. And who's the other guy who went off at turn 9? Arnold did.
That was the other one, yes. I think there was obviously somebody else as well in the early stages of the race, but I can't 100%.
Yeah, but I wasn't when battling Valdinger.
Quintino was the other one, I just remembered. Anyway, 4 laps to go.
Doesn't look like Valdinger is close enough to attack right now. No, he's had a pretty bad exit out of turn 12.
As they make their way out of the banking now then, as the gap is... Oh, it's actually stayed the same in fact, so they both lapped around the same sort of pace going into Sector 3 that time by.
Yeah, Valdinger just doesn't seem to have the train line speed compared to China today.
Yep, as they make their way through into turn 3 now then, as Valdinger tries to get him in cornering. I'm not sure if the pair of them are getting onto Martins though. That's just something I'm not 100% sure on. But
I'm sure Valdinger and China have both been told on team radio of the gap to Bavona that they need to increase their pace if they want to gain a free position pretty much.
Yeah,
you can see Bavona there, look. There's no point measuring the gap as it is right now. We need to measure it at the end of the race because that's when we get the clearest picture.
Absolutely right. As through into the sequence of hairpins we go. Will Valdinger get close enough to get hold of Keoshani that time? We shall see.
We shall see indeed, Joe. As, 3 laps to go for Samadoskan. And in the meantime, Wallinger is going to attack China. He's gaining onto him. Both of them are getting closer to Martins. But I think Martins will hold on these last 3 laps. And once again, Wallinger just doesn't have straight line speed. He's only just got 290, sorry, not 390, my gosh. 292 kilometers an hour. China is comfortably having the measure of him on the streets. That's why Wallinger always had to go for moves into turn 9. He had a little bit of a moment there. Bigger moment now, but he's actually not lost time to China.
Seemed that that little mistake was a little bit of a blessing in disguise there for Waldinger, because he's now not
Maybe
that far
so.
away from the...
Sinonome has caught up to Oskan in the meantime a little bit more, but he's not going to catch him before the end of this race.
I think Goskin's just possibly just settling into a rhythm and just trying to bring the car home, really, to take what would be his 3rd win of the season. As you saw, Keoshani going a little bit defensive going into the left-hander there. They now make their way through the sequence. And again, Waldinger just getting a little bit scruffy. We saw that obviously earlier on down at turn 4, but once again, just getting that little bit more scruffy. And on this occasion, Keoshani was able to get away from him this time by.
You can see from Wallinger's POV that gray high-tech is getting bigger and bigger. They're gaining onto Martins, these two. Martins will be in danger, and Bivona will try to manage the gap. Sinonome is 6.5 behind Oskan. He's the fastest car on track right now, but it doesn't really matter. He's not going to catch him. He's going to have to settle for 2nd, but he'll be happy with that. It'll be his first podium of the season, I think.
Yeah, indeed. And as they make their way through into the banking now, then we go. As Rico not close enough to get a hold of Watson in front. It looks like he's probably going to stay in 13th by the end of it. I can't see him getting onto him on the next lap either. It just seems like he's
we're going to need to switch to the on the screen that shows the gap to leader at the bottom there, because that will help us a lot for Bivona and for Arnold.
Yeah, indeed. And obviously we would look on the def panel once Bivona crosses the line to see where exactly he ends up on that leaderboard. Waldinger is close still to the back of Keoshani, as once again the tie driver defends going into the left-hander. Now can Waldinger keep it clean this time, unlike the previous lap where he was a little bit scruffy? He does this time by, and let's see if he's able to remain behind him coming out of this hairpin.
Let's see. Through turn 12 we go. No, sorry, this is 13. No, that's 12. This is 13. Final lap for Samet Oskan is now Benz Waldinger is attacking China.
Able to get him
we've seen this mistake so many times today. I am exhausted.
Indeed, but we are on to the final lap of the race, and Oskan has got a very comfortable lead out in front. Curtis not close enough to get a hold of Arnold, but not like it will matter anyway, because he's got a 10-second time penalty, whereas Arnold, of course, has a 5-second one. But here is the race leader, Samet Oskan.
Yeah, he inherited the lead after a lot of luck ruined just Suto's chances. But he defended from him well, as now Curtis attacks Arnold into turn 1. He's got the move on a brilliant stop, but it's not like it matters anyway. He's got 10 seconds worth of penalties.
But back onto the leader, Oskan, who's just coming.
How far down was Bivona?
I didn't quite see, but we'll check anyway when he crosses the line. It won't matter anyways. Waldinger again tries to attack Keoshani, but we need to get to the leader because he's not that far away from the banking.
Well, he inherited this lead, but he held on to it well afterwards. This is a lucky win for Samet Oskan, but you gotta make your own luck. And this is what he needed. Heading in towards the championship finale in Brazil, Samet Oskan is the leader once again with a brilliant win here in America. As he crosses the yard of bricks, he wins. Sinonome 2nd. Bivona crosses it will be third on the road. Waldinger tries to pass China. He won't get it done. But we will need Bivona finishes third on the road, but he will lose a few places, at least 2, with the 5-second penalty he's got. We will get a clearer picture later.
Either way, High Tech have won the team's title. They are the 2020
yes, they are
champions. So well done to them.
Bivona 12.8 behind. China 17.6 behind. Wallinger 18.2 behind. So Bivona will slot between China and Wallinger.
For some reason, Flo has not put the graphic up yet, confirming that they are champions yet. So, anyway, but they are that. iTech are the champions. We'll, of course, check to see where Bivona has finished afterwards when we get onto the results screen, because luckily I don't think anybody was lapped in this race. But either way, Oskan is the winner, and we've got a very exciting title decider coming up in Brazil.
Absolutely right. Oskan v. Martins. It'll be the decider. And Benz Wallinger has a little bit of a shot in it as well. I'm not sure about Joseph Eric Soto, though. I don't believe he has a shot also, but we'll have to wait and see.
Indeed, but the two high-tech drivers are in the title fight. Valdinger has an outside shot, I think, at the title, but he is going to need quite a lot of luck, I think, if he wants to.
This
win the
result screen is
championship.
going to be important because we've never had 4 drivers with penalties before, so it's time to do a little bit of math. So here we go. Sameroskan is the race winner. That's without a doubt. And Tostonome is in second. His best finish of the season. Brilliant stuff. Agatino Bivona, 12.8 seconds down. It means he will drop Agatino Bivona. It means he'll be 6th place. So Joseph Erixuto is 3rd. What a shame. He should have won this race, man. He should have won this race, but he was robbed. Tobias Kress caused a massive pileup, and he came off worse after that. So Joseph Erixuto, what a shame, but at least he'll get to step on the podium thanks to Bivona's penalty. Martins P4, Chopchanat P5, Bivona will slot into P6, Benz Wallinger P7, remains the title fight only just. Rose Hansen has a 5-second penalty, but that doesn't matter because she has no. It does matter because Protsuk is P8, Hansen P9, and then, my goodness, Curtis has 10 seconds, Arnold has 5 seconds, so Watzel is actually P10. Rico is Rico is P11. Moore is behind Arnold, so Arnold is P12. Is he P12? Is he P12? Yes, No. Moore is in front. Moore is P12. Arnold is P13. Sorry that I'm doing the second half as well. It's just that the math. But yeah, Quintino. What about Quintino? Quintino is no. So Arnold is P13. Quintino 14th. Curtis then 15th, and then normal service resumes. You can do the final ones. Sorry, Joe.
Indeed. So Quintino is 15th. Nguyen is 14th. Curtis 15th. Nguyen is in 16th position. Just double checking to see if there's any more time penalties, which thankfully there aren't. Blackwood in 17th, and Farina, the last of the finishes, in 18th, with Dennis Graff, Tobias Kress, who of course has a 10-place grid penalty for Brazil, Derebus Daniel, and Adam Chobot, who the 4 drivers who did not finish, because all 4 of them were involved in the pileup that happened earlier on in the race.
Yep, that was one hell of a pileup. Just first gets 2 points for the fastest lap. Let me check real quick. So Sutov finished in 3rd, yes? So he loses 10 points out to Ozkan. And he was how many points behind Ozkan? He was 28 points behind. Oh, no. No, Sutov is out of the championship hunt. I'm sorry. It's just Martins, Ozkan, and Waldinger are still in it with a shot, of course. I'm sorry for just very Sutov, but he doesn't have a chance to win the title.
Definitely. Well, it's time to listen to the national.
But he's got the fastest lap. Oh yeah, of course. It's I almost forgot about it. This was a breathtaking race, and it felt like it flew by. Now, once again, for the 3rd time this season, it's time for the Swedish national anthem. All right, thank you guys. Thank you guys. And now, the last thing, of course, before we end the stream, need to ask us, the three of us, who was the driver of the day. And I'm going to go for Joseph Soto because the part where he took the lead, but unfortunately was just robbed by that massive pileup. He should have won today's race. Then he had traffic. He couldn't win today's race, but at least he got to finish third. So, yeah, Joseph Soto is my pick for driver of the day. What about you guys?
For me, it's a tough one, really, because there wasn't really one that really stood out for me, to be quite honest. But if I had to choose, I'm probably going to say Oskin, just for the fact that he's basically did what he needed to do, and as a result, he now retakes the lead in the championship. It was lucky, but he was there to capitalise. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to Oskin.
That's exactly what you need to do when you get luck like that. So, sure, it was a lucky win for Samuel Oscar, we can all agree. But at the end of the day, it's still a win. He still defended position, and he held off Sonomi's late charge. So, Oscar did well enough to get himself those 25 points. Now, Flo, what's your opinion?
Well, I will give driver of the day to Joseph Frederick Suto since on track,
Yes.
on paper, he was the fastest car and also got screwed over by the stricken car of Kress. I think he would and should have won today's race, but unfortunately the circumstances in the beginning laps hindered him from doing that. So yeah, in my opinion, he's today's driver of the day.
All right, thank you. I also want to shout out Feng Chongchou China and Ben Wallinger for putting some amazing overtaking on throughout the race. But driver of the day goes to Joseph Soto. Well, that's for today's stream there, guys. Thank you very much for watching for today's streaming. Next time for F2, we'll be seeing you in a week's time for the finale in Brazil, 1 week before Top Class gets there. And of course, we'll see you tomorrow for the Top Class for the Bahrain Grand Prix. The first time it's being held late in the season. And with Franco Gamba on pole, should be a very entertaining affair. But that's it for myself and Joe. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.